right, welcome back to Raff's Brain, a show about things that are interesting to me. I am your host, Rob Rafferty. Guess what, folks? I'm feeling very inspired. I'm driving back on I-95 from the OBX. I always love that acronym, OBX. If you know, you know. That's the Outer Banks of North Carolina. We have a small townhouse on the Outer Banks, the northern part of Outer Banks, a place called Duck, quack, quack, yes, Duck, North Carolina. We had to bust down there for a few days, get out of Dodge. I won't get into details on that in today's episode. The bottom line is, I'm driving back from Duck to Northern Virginia, and I got inspired because just a few moments ago, I finished my initial consultation for a series of phone calls with a healthcare expert.
Police reported.
I don't know how this got all set up. I think what happened is the beginning of the year, my healthcare company, Care First, Blue Cross, I don't even know if it's Blue Cross Blue Shield anymore. It's called Care First. I don't know healthcare. I don't understand that world whatsoever. It's a mass confusion to me. I know I have insurance. I get emails every once in a while. I go to the hospital. They send me bills. I pay whatever. I don't understand it. The whole system is a complete mess. That being said, Care First emailed me at the beginning of the year. They're like, hey, would you like to have a free life coach or whatever, exercise, diet coach, healthcare coach? And I guess if you think about it from the insurance company's perspective, they want their clients to be healthy. They don't want to pay for us to get sick. So they're going to invest in these like virtual conversations for their patients or whatever I'm called, customer, healthcare insurance guy. So I'm insured. They're like, yes. I said, okay, sure. So, no, it's funny. I got that email like in late December, early January, and I clicked on it, and to book a call took me like a month and a half. So it's mid-February. It was literally booked that far out. So people are using this service. What you do is you book a window of time in the future, and you mark your calendar. And it's like one of those things where you pick a time and a date, and you're like, well, there's nothing on my calendar yet. I guess I'll go ahead and book it there. All right, so I snagged an hour of time, and it's not, you don't get a full hour of conversation. My sense is the call will typically take about 15 to 20 minutes, but the person will call you in a window of time. So a month and a half ago, I said today, whatever day is it, February 12th, between the hour of 10 a.m. and 11 a.m., sign me up for an intake consult with a healthcare professional. It's not a registered dietitian. She explained all that to me. The bottom line is I didn't realize a month and a half ago that I'd be driving back from Duck to Arlington, Virginia. And then I was looking at my calendar. I was like, oh, I guess I'm going to get a call today. My intake call. And I decided to just take it in the car. She was cool with that. It was a very good conversation. At the conclusion of that conversation, it just occurred to me I could use this as a catalyst to create a new stream of content on the Raff's Brain podcast. As you know, Raff's Brain has various categories of content, streams of content of this show. I have hot yoga problems. That's probably the most, I would say, common episode, because I just record my thoughts when I come back from my hot yoga sessions. The studio's about 10 minutes away, little bite-sized reflections. Check those out. Another stream of content, riffing with Raff. That's when I'm in conversation. It's the interview stream of content. Then there's like walk and talk, when I'm just running around my neighborhood with a selfie stick, acting like a lunatic, talking about things on my mind. So those are the kind of defined categories at the moment. Let's add a new category, name to be determined. I'm literally just, making this up as we go. But what if it becomes like my quest for fitness and health. I mean, we walked through a little bit of my history, my challenges. Clearly, I need to get in better shape. I'm about, I don't know, if you look at like the general norms, I'm probably 30 to 40 pounds overweight. I might be technically obese, but that doesn't bother me because I think a lot of people fall into that category. I think the guidelines are probably very loose. But that's not good, man. You don't want to be you don't even want to be obese, period. Technical or literal. Just don't do it. So get together, man. So I walked through my life story with this woman. She seemed very friendly and she was very positive. I like this about her. She's very optimistic. I got to explain to her, hey, look, I'm almost 50 years old. I've never been in peak physical form. I don't know that I'll ever get to that. I'm not going to be like Adonis. But, I've been healthy. I grew up, I was like lean. When I was a kid, I was skinny. I was scrawny for most of my youth. Got to college, probably, let's be honest, it was like a lot of beer, a lot of alcohol, a lot of fast food. I put on some weight. But I've always had decent metabolism, and I did exercise, and I did like some physical activities. It wasn't like I was a total sloth. Law school, pretty much the same. There was a period of time, the healthiest year of my life was my second year of law school. I was going through some things. And I was running a ton. I started to pick up this habit of jogging. In Syracuse, New York, I was jogging and running, and it became like a crazy obsession. Probably the peak physical fitness in terms of weight. I was also Auto the Orange, the mascot. That was an enormously taxing physical exercise. People do not appreciate when you're in that giant plush ball, the heat, the endurance that you must have to like do a full football game on the road. I mean, it was intense, man. So anyway, that year I was probably my peak physical form, and I want to say I might have been as low as like 190. Right now I'm about 230. I gotta drop it. I think where it all started to go off the rails is when I got a job. And when let's be honest, like, when does your health and diet most likely fall off? It's when you basically probably around age 25, you start working, whatever you're doing full time, you're partying on the weekends, you're probably slacking on the self-care, and I don't know. I think that's when things started to go off the rail for me. Off the rails. Not just one rail. It's not a monorail. My life is not a monorail. It's not Disneyland, folks. I'm like freaking Amtrak on the Acela corridor, which is very highly trafficked and disturbed and messed up, and it's always breaking down. But it's, it's a thing. Anyway, I explained this to the woman. I said, I've had these like peaks and valleys, and I make progress. I mean, the last time I was in decent shape a couple years ago, I might have gotten down to like 205. And it's always through a combination of diet and exercise. It's not one or the other. You cannot outrun a bad diet or whatever. That's like a common phrase. It's true. It might be true for everyone. It's true for me. It's definitely true for me. I've never been in a position where I can just eat what I want, when I want, all the time, no matter what. I don't work out that enough. I don't exercise enough to do that. So I explained the circumstances. What's my goals? She wants to know my goals, I said, well, my goal is to lose weight and to get in better shape, because I'm starting to realize the older I get, that the harder that becomes, and the investments I make now in my self-care. I don't even like that term. It makes me sick. Like, oh, self-care. I mean, just freaking, keeping it together. That's all I'm trying to say. Trying to keep it together. But I know those investments will pay off. And I should have been doing this a decade or two ago. It's not like I'm completely let go. It's not like I'm complete off the rails like the movie The Whale. Holy moly. Did you see that? Not Robert Downey Jr., it's the other guy. Brandon Fraser, I think is his name. Whoa! That dude let himself go. He's got a traumatic life. I've been watching it in chunks. It's like on Netflix or maybe HBO. I can't remember what it's on. It's on now. I didn't see it in the theaters, which is a good thing, because, man, I would have struggled eating popcorn and watching that movie. It's that graphic. The gist is, it's a morbidly obese man who unfortunately is having some serious struggles in life, and it's kind of like the last week of his life. That's the vibe I get. I'll be honest with you, I haven't watched it to conclusion yet, because I get nauseous. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's so nasty watching this guy make such poor decisions, and he has a terrible relationship with his ex-wife and his daughter. It's just like, sad story. Anyway, I'm not like that. I'm not the whale. I could become the whale. I mean, if I had a job to do that, like, hey, we need you to be the whale in the sequel. I like screenwriting. Could I write the sequel? I'd have to watch the rest of the movie first. I'm getting there. I'm probably like, this is one of those few movies, folks. Usually I'm really good with movies. I'm start to finish. I don't want to break it up. I don't even hit pause when I use the bathroom. I turn the volume up and I listen as I'm using the bathroom. I want to keep things moving forward at all times. There is no pause. There is no break in the action. My life's always got to be moving forward, like a shark, like, Woody Allen's, right? It's like, gotta be a shark, man. If you don't move, you die. But for some reason, that whale movie, dude, I watched it for 45 minutes, then 10 minutes, then 20 minutes. It's getting to its dramatic conclusion. I mean, I know what's going to happen. I have a sense of it. It's not going to end well for the whale. But what I'm trying to say is, it was a very good call, and I came away with some actionable steps. And in the process, I thought, maybe something I could do is make this a new stream of content on my podcast, periodic updates about my progress, or most likely lack of progress, we'll see, on my fitness and health goals. I need a name for this channel, this stream. I'll come up with it before I post this episode. Presumably it'll be a working title. The Journey, Raff's Brain, Fitness Journey, Fitness Quest, something like that. Health and Fitness Adventures. It's an adventure because it's always unpredictable. It's never a straight line with me, I ebb and flow. I'm either all in or not in. It's very, very. I've been such a fad diet fiend for the past 20 years. I've done every fad diet you can possibly imagine. And I don't want to do that again. I'm not going to go in like the all gonzo journalism and here's the hot cabbage soup diet. Here's the South Park Beach or whatever. I mean, there's so many different diets. Carbs, fat, bacon. It's like a diet where I just ate bacon for a week or something. Obviously, these binge and fad diets are silly because they're not lifestyle. They're not like sustainable. They're not lifestyle changes. So I need to really get serious about this. This could be it. My serious attempt to advance my health and wellness with the assistance of a life coach or whatever they're called from Care First. If it works, it may inspire others to use these services if their healthcare provider offers it. I was hesitant. I don't like the touchy-feeliness, like, oh, I'm here to help you and provide you. By the way, it's all very positive. I like that positivity. I try to be optimistic in life. But I kind of want more discipline. I said, what happens next? She is going to call me in a few months. So we're going to like schedule a time and she'll check in. I said, well, that's good. You can hold me accountable. Most likely I'm going to fail. Oh, I got a phone call here. Hang on. Hello. 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 Telemarketer. I wouldn't have answered it with my hand like that. Usually it's on my speakerphone. That was weird. Telemarketers. Never answer the phone when you don't know what the number is. Why would you even think about answering the phone? Especially in the middle of a podcast recording. What's wrong, dude? Wake up. Get it together. Anyway, 2 action items from my intake consultation. 1, drink more water. Hey, that's like not a profound insight, but I can do it. I can track it better. Drink more water. How much water should one person drink in a day? Does anybody know the answer to that question? I think the answer is like a gallon. Why does that stand out? I don't even know, but I'm going to drink more water. So I guess I'm going to start tracking that. I'll track my water progress, and I'll do that on social media or something. It's not like I can just do a whole podcast episode about, yes, I drank a gallon of water today, just checking in to let you know. A daily podcast to confirm that I drank a gallon of water. Is that stimulating? Is that exciting? You guys like looking out excited about that new channel of Raff's Brain? 30-second episode every day where I say whether or not I did or did not consume a gallon of water. Is that going to be like must-see TV? No. But anyway, that's interesting. I'll drink a lot of water. That's good. The second one is also not groundbreaking. It's something I've heard before. But if I can hold myself to this commitment and actually follow through with it for a sustained period of time, it may work. It may achieve some results. And that is eat with intention / take your time. Take your time. How many of us suffer from just hit and run, food on the go, boom, boom, chow down, baby. I got things to do, people to go, place to see. I got things going on in my life, man. I don't have time to sit down and chew the food and absorb it and think about it and actually take a moment to put all the distractions aside and just focus on what you're shoving into your pie hole, you know? Like, really appreciate that. And if you slow down your eating, I think the theory is that could lead to a reduction in overeating. A lot of times I'm guilty of, I think, what's called fog eating. You're in a mental fog. You're watching TV or a movie. You're like just at work and you're multitasking on your computer. You have YouTube on. You listening to headphones, or you just like hit and run. You're walking and chowing down and grab and go. You're driving somewhere. You're in a fog. You're in a haze. You're not focused on the fact that you're consuming something. So, if I could get really serious about this, on the third thing was like, you know, because I've had some follow-up questions. I said, well, how do you feel about like, what's it called? Fasting. How do you feel about fasting? Of course, it's like, she doesn't know me. She's not gonna, every time I asked a question, she was very quick to remind me, I'm not a registered dietitian. It's like, okay, well, what do you know about this actually, that I should be trusting you? And it was cool. I do trust her. It's like, I'm putting my trust in a stranger. But she has a bit of a stamp of validation, being referenced or referred by my healthcare company. but I really don't know anything about this person. I'm taking her at face value, and I believe all her suggestions to be good ones. Drink more water, be more intentional with your eating, and don't eat so fast. When I asked her about fad diets and things like fasting, she said, she was quick to not provide a clear answer on that. It works for some people, not for others. But she did say some people find useful rules in like not eating after a certain hour of time. So I think that's a smart idea. Maybe what time is that is the question. I think it might be like 7 o'clock. If you start to have a rule, like you're a gremlin, don't eat after midnight, or you turn into a freaking ghoul, you come up with some type of tactic or technique that have a rules-based approach. And then there has to be consequences and accountability. If you break or adhere to the rule, you get a reward. If you break it, you get punished. I don't know. The point is 3 things. Drink more water. Eat with intention. Don't eat after, say, 7 p.m. Those are the rules. If I stick to those rules, if I hold myself accountable, and I check in once a week or so with my podcast, and I record updates on the challenges, the successes, the failures, shortcomings, lessons learned, that could be a new podcast content stream. So that might be happening. It might be happening. If it happens, we can look back and this will be the foundational moment. This will be the catalyst. This will be the pilot episode of Raff's Brain health and wellness saga 2025. It should be for the rest of your life, but I guess something else I should do here is I really got to start tracking my weight every day. So maybe I'll do this. I'm just riffing a little bit. Maybe what I'll do is try to record a podcast episode once a week with updates on my health and wellness. But every day of the week at a certain time, I will post on Twitter, or now X. Does anyone even call it X? I still call it Twitter. I will post there just basic facts every day about my weight, my water intake, my diet, like was I intentional in my eating, and then did I adhere to the rule of no meals after 7 o'clock. A daily record publicly presented as an accountability device. People can call me out. It gets really interesting is if you start to place bets on this. If there becomes a market to bet for or against my likelihood of success over, say, a 6-month time horizon, that would be the ultimate sign of success to me. And if people start wagering on this, that would get real exciting to me. It would motivate me very much because I want everyone to win. If you bet against me, you're going down. However, if I was a third party and I was being a very honest assessment here, I'd probably vote. I would bet against me. Insider trading. You bet against me and then I don't do well. Then we split the profits. I'm just kidding. I'm not going to be an inside trader. I'm going to be an honest broker. I'm going to follow through. That's how I feel at this particular moment. It's always subject to revision. Like everything in Raff's brain. All right. Well, that was fun. I'm excited. I just burned half an hour. This is not a particularly long trip, but it helps. Anything you can do to distract and take up some time on a commute like this is a valuable thing. So I'm glad it happened. I'm looking forward to it. If you have any thoughts, ideas, suggestions, feedback, input, let me know. Hit me up. You know how to do that. There's also a call-in line. You can leave suggestions. What's your favorite diet? What's your, tip of the week? How can I get better and achieve all the things I need to achieve for my health and wellness? So I'd love to know. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode, and I look forward to giving you a healthy update. Maybe it's once a week, and I'll figure this all out, but stay tuned. Until next time, have a good one. Thanks all.